It's finally tournament time here in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Bowling Green Falcons taking on the Buffalo Bulls in a rematch of last year's quarterfinals matchup. They meet again here in the same exact round here in Rocket Arena in Cleveland. Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast. Lucas Kleinmar alongside Caden Knapp with you. A busy day of basketball here in the MAC tournament. Caden, first slate of games are almost over. This is the last game of today. Bowling Green looking to get a little bit of revenge on these Bulls that have had Shamil's number for quite some time.
Yeah, 100%. Fred Shamil currently is 0-4 against Buffalo in his career, 0-1 in the Mid-American Conference tournament against them. But you know what? There's an old saying that says there's never a better time than now, and that is the mentality that the Falcons are taking into this game.
Indeed, and if Bowling Green were to pull with a victory here tonight, Caden, they would be the only upset so far this game. It's been all chalk so far this game. We'll recap a little bit what happened earlier today. Ball State defeated Western Michigan. You had Kent State taking down Miami. And then we really just saw the Toledo Rockets taking down the Chippewas. So if Bowling Green were to come with a victory, they would face their rivals Toledo in the semifinal round. But this is a matchup, Caden, that Bowling Green has a lot of momentum coming in. They won 7 of their last 8 games heading into this game. A lot of the teams that they lost to first time around, like Toledo and Kent State and Western Michigan, they beat the second time around here, and they're trying to make it seem that's not any different against Buffalo.
Yeah, this team is really spread into 2 different categories, I'd say. They play very well when they have great momentum. That's the first one. And I think they also play very well when they're familiar with that team, and they've proven that this season. Like you said, they've won a lot of their rematches so far, and they have that positive momentum built up. So on paper, it looks like they're 100% ready, and this is going to be a good one. Really a coin flip, because both these teams playing really quality basketball right now. Buffalo 24-6, 13-5 in Mid-American Conference play. They've won 1 consecutive 3 of their last 5. So, like I said, a lot of positive things.
And there's nothing quite like tournament time when you come into this play. It's do or die. If you lose, your season may be over. Obviously, there's postseason tournament to be played after your conference tournament as well. So we'll see what fate lies between either one of these programs after this game. But only one can come away victorious. And for Bowling Green, Caden, Amy Velasco has been spectacular towards this down portion of the season, along with Lexi Fleming, Paige Kohler, Eric Kapoor. Really, the whole starting 5 for Bowling Green has been really impressive.
Yeah, as soon as Janaea Donahue got put back into the starting 5, the team has really been playing like a team. Last time out against Eastern Michigan, for me, it was almost impossible to pick a player of the game because everyone played just so well. And the game before that against Kent State, again, they just played so well as a team. And that's what basketball is about, playing well together and carrying each other and getting each other, if like one's down, getting through that together.
Indeed, and you look at Velasco, most minutes played in the MAC coming into this one, 36.1 minutes average per game. Kohler is in second. So both guards for Bowling Green are already in the top minutes in the Mid-American Conference. You look at Eric Kapoor, she's still first in field goal percentage as well, along with going back to Velasco, fourth in the MAC in assists, 6 in scoring, and first from the free throw line. She's been spectacular in her final season with the Falcons, and she's definitely going to need to have a big night in order for Bowling Green to come away victorious.
Yeah, and she's a player who has experience in the MAC tournament, which is paramount in these big tournament games. Experience is very key, and I mean, even with everyone in the starting 5, presumably, it hasn't been announced yet, except for Janaea Donahue, has MAC tournament experience.
Indeed, and that's a big thing to look towards, Caden, is we know the importance of 4 of the 5 Bowling Green stars in Porter, Velasco, Fleming, because those players are all in their final year of eligibility, or Fleming does have one more per se, but they've all had a plenty of experience in these tournament games. Kohler also played last year in this tournament against this very same Buffalo team. This is Donahue's first time go around here in this tournament play, so we'll see how she does. Obviously, the nerves are there. Obviously, a lot of these players are going to be nervous heading into this game, especially if they're first time in an NBA arena playing in front of a crowd. But if she can have a big game, Bowling Green can come away with a big win.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be her lighting up the scoreboard as well. I mean, the last few games, she hasn't really scored a ton of points, but she's huge in the stealing category and getting rebounds and being big defensively. There's a reason why she was in contention to be put on the All-MAC defensive team because of her abilities.
Indeed, it is as well, and I think it's safe to say that Chella Watson has been one of the most solid players in the MAC this year. Obviously, she didn't win MAC Player of the Year. That was Allie Becky for Ball State, but No secret, Caden. All these matches these teams have played since Fred Schmelz got to Bowling Green, they have to limit Watson.
Yes, Watson is the Buffalo offense. Kind of like Allie Becky with Ball State. She's going to touch the basketball on almost every single offensive possession, and she is the player that defensively isn't afraid to be up in your face and playing up on you and creating those takeaways.
And with Donahue as well, she's first in the MAC in steals per game, but Cornfield is just right behind her.
Yeah, Nolani Cornfield, another player with a lot of experience. If you look at this Buffalo team, there's just so much experience all over the place. And again, that's just so key. Cornfield has really flown under the radar because all the attention goes to Watson when you think of Buffalo. I mean, Cornfield will hit big shots. She averages just over 10.6 points per game. And she's second in the MAC, like you said, in assists and assist to turnover ratio. So she's a player that also plays great defense. She's second in the MAC when it comes to steals. She has 68 this season. Indeed,
as well. We look at both these teams heading into this game. You got the Buffalo Bulls, so the number one scoring offense in the MAC, and they're also number one in turnover margin. And they're also the second-ranked best defensive team in the MAC. And look at the record coming to this game as the number 3 seed, 24-6 on the year, 13-5 in MAC play. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, 6th seed coming into this one, 18-12 overall, 11-7 in MAC play. That's one win better than they were last year. And they got a lot of momentum coming into this one as they finish out the regular season. And, man, oh man, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it 100% will be. And, you know, that kind of plays to the favor of the Bowling Green Falcons because Buffalo hasn't played in a lot of close games. At least they haven't won them. They have 11 wins this season of 20 or more points, 3 of 15 to 19, and then 5 of 10 to 14 points. Outside of that, they have 5 games that were decided by 1 digit.
Indeed, they do as well. And for Bowling Green,
won.
Indeed, in Bowling Green, you look at how they've scored this period. They've outscored opponents plus 105 margin in the first quarter of this season. They've also outscored opponents plus 20 in the second. Now, the second half, a lot of times this season have been different, but down the stretch of the season, they did a really good job at closing out games a lot better. But this is a Buffalo Bulls team that puts together 4 complete quarters almost on a consistent basis.
Yes, 100%. That's why they are a team that really keeps their foot on the gas pedal, and that's why they are able to pull away from all these teams. That's why they pulled away from the Falcons in the first meeting, because they took advantage of the Falcon miscues and continued playing really good basketball and acted like it was 0-0 the whole time.
Got Amy Velasco, Lexi Fleming, Erica Porter against Chella Watson, Kirsten Lewis-Williams, and Nolani Cornfield. A lot of stars here in the MAC on tap, but only one can continue their quest for an NCAA tournament bid here. It's the Mid-American Conference quarterfinals matchup here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. When we come back, we'll have starting 5 for each team for you. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball, taking on the Buffalo Bulls in the 2025 MAC tournament.
To listen to replays of recent Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts, tune into WBGU 88.1 FM every weekday morning from midnight to 3 a.m.
Back here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, we have the starting 5s for you for head coach Fred Schmelz Falcons and Becky Burks Bulls. Here on tab and the MAC tournament quarterfinals rounds. Lucas Clymer alongside Kaden Knapp with you. We have the starting 5s for each team. Kaden, let's start for your Bowling Green Falcons.
We have Erica Porter, Janaea Donahue, Lexi Fleming, Amy Velasco, and Paige Kohler. Enough said with them. They've been playing just great together.
Same starting 5 as it's been since that Toledo loss a long time ago in January. And it's been a lineup that since this lineup has come to fruition, they've been 9-2 on the year. Now for the Bulls.
We have Kirsten Lewis-Williams, Chella Watson, Nolani Cornfield, Jordan Beatty, and then Satota Gines. Another starting 5 that is familiar with each other and have played quality basketball.
Familiar with each other and a lot of quality basketball players as well for both these teams. And for Buffalo as well, we talked about Chella Watson too. We talked about Cornfield a little bit too, but Lewis Williams is also a player that gave Bowling Green a lot of trouble this past season, also last season as well.
Yeah, definitely. And she's another player that kind of flies under the radar. And that kind of takes me into my 3 keys to the game that I have. And I'm going to start with the assists. Assists are very important. The Falcons are going to need to win that battle. They're 8-0 this season when they have 20 or more assists. They also need to play consistently. They started off really, really good against Buffalo in the first meeting. They started, I believe, 13-2 was the score at the beginning. But they had numerous scoring droughts through the final 30 minutes of the game, and it really plagued them. And the third and final key that I have is don't let the moment get bigger than you. Lucas, you were telling me that there's certain players at the shoot-around this morning look maybe a little nervous or whatnot. You got to just play your game and act like this is just another game that you have to win.
Indeed, and nerves are a real thing, but head coach Fred Schuma made a really good point to stress that, guys, this is just another game. Yes, it's a MAC tournament. It's an elimination game. You're in, like we mentioned, you're in the NBA arena, and expectations are a lot higher, but at the end of the day, it's another basketball game in a different environment. So go out there, play your game. Don't let the nerves over-consume you. You mentioned he's going to make them nervous enough, but he's a coach. Coaches got to do their job. Coaches got to be hard on their players. But, again, this is just another game against a very good Buffalo Bulls team that Bowling Green is just dying to get some revenge on.
Yeah, 100%. And, I mean, all the way to the last player on the bench. It's just everyone wants to beat Buffalo on the Bowling Green side.
They do indeed. And the Buffalo Bulls, we mentioned last year, they took down this very Bowling Green Falcons team in the quarterfinals round. The Bulls made a run all the way to the MAC championship game where they lost to Kent State and nearly missed out on an NCAA tournament bid there. But now they have a chance to right those wrongs. Kent State won their game earlier today, as we mentioned, against Miami, and they'll face Ball State in the semifinal round. The winner of this game will face the Toledo Rockets, the number 2 seed, in the semifinal round. You have Bowling Green and their orange. I think orange from head to toe. It's pretty decked out in full orange. Buffalo Bulls in their white with blue strip. Number 3 seed Bulls taking on the number 6 Falcons. It's do or die here in Cleveland, Ohio. We're ready to get set here for action here in Rocket Arena. Whistle blown, ball in the air, and one there from Erica Porter. We are underway here in Cleveland. Here's Velasco for Bowling Green here, the right wing. Kicks out to Fleming. Fleming guarded by Gaines, gets out to Kohler. There's Velasco left wing. Velasco looked for a screen there from Porter initially. Gets out to Donahue, the right wing. Now out to Fleming in the right wing. Porter sets the screen. Shot clock down to 3. Now Donahue has to put a shot. Donahue drives to the baseline. Shot no good. So Bowling Green there comes up empty on their first possession. Here come the Bulls. And a nice pass here to Lewis Williams. Drives to the rim. A little too high there. Shot no good. And rebounded there from Kohler.
Both teams starting 0-1 with a missed layup. Buffalo a little faster, though, on the offensive end.
Here's Kohler. Fleming. Fleming again drives on Lewis Williams. Has it knocked away and stolen the air from Lewis Williams on the fast break. Here's Sitoda Hines. It backed out Cornfield. Hines there kind of pumped the brakes there. Had a chance to go in a fast breakdown. Gets it back to Cornfield. Cornfield pulls a mid-range jumper up. No good. In and out. And that one's knocked away from Fleming. And it's going to be last off Fleming. Porter thought it was last off a Bulls, so that's a little bit of miscommunication there from the Falcons, and it'll be Buffalo ball.
Yeah, 3 Falcons all kind of stood around waiting for the ball to go out of bounds, including Paige Kohler, who was the closest to it.
So 0-0 here, 8:35 to play in the first quarter here in Cleveland. Here's Watson. Watson drives to the rim, puts it up, and out there.
Tight defense in the early goings of this one.
Tight defense there from Porter. So both teams empty here, looking for the game's first basket. Here's Velasco to the right wing, guarded by Cornfield. Hands it off here to Kohler. Kohler drives to the right side, now drives baseline underneath the basket out to Donahue. Donahue wide open for 3. Donahue goes in and out, and rebounded there from the Bulls.
Not a player you see take threes too often, just under 30 this year. That
was Beatty there with the rebound, and Fleming rips that away from Lewis Williams. Here's Donahue. Down here drives here with the left, gets a little bit of separation, bounce pass inside to Porter inside the paint. That one no good. Last off of Buffalo will be Bowling Green ball.
Well, both these teams showing through the first few minutes that they're not going to let you bully each other in the paint. They're locking that down on both ends.
We will get a basket eventually. 7:55 here, 0-0 here in the first quarter. Ball inbound to Fleming, a little too strong, has to recollect her balance. Out to Velasco. She'll lock in low three from left wing. Velasco, no good. And rebounded there from Hines.
Very uncontested as well. She was on her own island, basically.
Here's Cornfield. Surveying the offense and options for Buffalo. Watson. And a wide open mid-range two here from Beatty, and that drains it for the game's first basket. 2-0 Buffalo, 7:25. Beatty has it for the Bulls.
Yeah, she was so wide open, she kind of hesitated for a second and then elected to go with it.
Here's Velasco out to Donahue. Donahue tries to pull up mid-range there. A lot of contact, no good. Porter does well to keep it in play. Kohler outside top of the key. Now Velasco. Velasco drives to the left there, has that shot tipped from Hines. Trying to keep that one in play was Lewis Williams. Couldn't do so. It will remain Bowling Green ball.
Well, this is a polar opposite start than the one that we saw in early January between these two teams.
0 for 5 start here from the floor for Bowling Green. Porter inbound to Fleming here left wing. Velasco. Guarded by Corfield into the corner. Now Kohler was by the Buffalo bench. Now orchestrates her way. One now on the shot clock. Has to put a shot there. Don't think she got that shot off in time.
The Buffalo bench thought she didn't.
And it was last off of a ball there as Porter and Beatty were going for that rebound. Burke and her staff wants it to be checked. I don't think first glance she got that shot off in time, but regardless, Bowling Green will remain with the ball.
Yeah, I didn't think she got it off either, Lucas.
So still 2-0 Buffalo here with 6:53 left to play here in the first. Velasco was looking inbound there from Porter. And we'll get a foul on Buffalo. We'll see.
Lewis Williams, I believe.
Yep. So that would be a first foul of the game. Lewis Williams with the first. And that ball just thrown out of bounds from Bowling Green. Yep. So turnover regardless for Bowling Green. So the Falcons have yet scoreless here in this one. 6:53 left in the first quarter. Only 2-0 Buffalo.
Yeah, the Falcons looking a little nervous right now, like we mentioned in the pregame. Velasco kind of just made an uncharacteristic mistake there with her inbound.
Shot there, rolled away from the rim, no good. Rebounded from Fleming. Now here's Velasco. Velasco hands it off to Donahue in the right corner. Donahue feeds it inside Porter, found herself separation in the post. Porter up and in, no good. And taken away again for the Bulls. And a long outlet pass from Cornfield, looking from Watson. They're too strong, and it'll be Bowling Green ball.
It's kind of like a game of ping pong. They're just pinging the ball back and forth. They're not scoring. They're just, yeah, what a start.
Defensive, to say the least. Velasco hands it off to Kohler. Bowling Green looking for the first points this game. Kohler in the Porter again. Gets back to Velasco, top of the key. Kohler moves inside, drives to the right, puts up a floater. That's good. Paige Kohler has the game's first points for the Orange and Brown, tied at 2 apiece.
Nice job by her to drive.
And there's Watson drives, and too strong there on that shot. No good. And here comes Bowling Green once again. Velasco, Kohler. Nice bounce pass to find Porter down low, and she lays it up and in. Bowling Green takes the lead 4-2.
And that whole thing was created by Paige Kohler making the basket on the previous possession. Buffalo was forced to play up on her defensively, allowing Porter to leak around the back.
So slow offensive start for both teams now almost midway through the first quarter. 5:22 left, 4-2 Bowling Green. Watson feeds it into Lewis Williams, and she puts that shot up and in over Donahue, tied at 4 apiece.
Yeah, she just used her 2-inch height differential there to put it in.
Both teams shooting under 30% from the floor so far this game. Here's Velasco left wing, Kohler top of the key, guarded by Hines. Screen stuff to Beatty initially. Now Kohler feeds it into Fleming. That's picked away from behind from Lewis Williams. And stolen back away from Fleming as Cornfield's looking to give that to Watson. Definitely defensive and physical first quarter here. Still 4-4 With 4:37 left to play in the first quarter, Bowling Green again on the attack. Here's Donahue. Makes a move inside, trying to give it to Porter last second. Can't do so. She's rejected. Now Watson on the way on the fast break. Chella Watson, first points of the game, is up and good. 6-4 Buffalo.
Good on Watson to read the block there and get around the players in orange to get the breakaway.
Here's Kohler. Nice pass to find Velasco backdoor. Found herself wide open for her first points. 6 apiece.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful pass.
And Fleming there comes from behind and knocked that away from Watson. 4:04 left to play here in the first quarter. 6-6 and a low-scoring affair here early in this first quarter. Tied game here in Cleveland here in the 2025 Mid-American Conference Tournament. Don't go anywhere to listen to BGSU women's basketball taking on the Buffalo Bulls right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Start your day with WBGU FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune into Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Back here after this timeout. Bowling Green 6, Buffalo 6, 4:04 left to play in the first quarter. Been a defensive start to this game here in the 2025 MAC Tournament quarterfinals round. I'm Lucas Clymer alongside Caden Knapp with you. And before we went to that timeout, I want to mention this timeout is, as always, sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com.
Yeah, what a first almost 6 minutes of gameplay that was, Lucas. And Paige Kohler kind of shining through in the beginning of this one. She has 2 points, but more importantly, she ties the team lead in 2 rebounds, and on top of that, she has 2 assists to set up the other 2 Velasco and Porter shots.
Well, both teams definitely haven't had the offensive start they've wanted. Bowling Green 3 for 10 from the floor, 30%. Buffalo 3 for 8, that's 37%, so not much better on 2 less attempts. But I think give both teams credit. I mean, they've been good defensively so far, and eventually the dam will break. So when we left off, Fleming knocked the ball away from Watson, so Buffalo will inbound this one. Obviously it was last off of Fleming as well, so Cornfield will inbound this one for the Bulls. Looking for an option now. Finally gets it a bounce pass inside to Beatty. Beatty working on Porter. Now kicks out Lewis. Williams found herself an open lane to the basket and lays it up and in with the left. 8-6 Buffalo.
Yeah, that was a good play design by Coach Becky Burke out of that timeout. Just what they wanted.
Under 4 minutes to play here in Cleveland. A 2-point lead now for the Bulls. Kohler feeds inside to Porter. Porter, nice move. Down low, guarded heavily by Beatty. Beatty knocks it away from Porter. Initially collects it right back. Porter feeds it down to Donahue. Donahue knocked away from Watson. That matchup there is very important to watch too. Watson against Donahue. Here's Velasco. Shot go down to 3 now. Velasco has to put up a shot there, and she'll travel. So another big defensive stop for the Bulls as Bowling Green comes up empty-handed on that possession.
Yeah, Chella Watson was all over Amy Velasco. She knew that the shot clock was about to expire, and she also knew not to foul.
So a plethora of subs coming in for Shamil, at least a couple. Taya Ellis checking in for Porter, and Kieran McGuff checking in for Donahue. So Shamil will make the first changes of this contest. Here's Cornfield, nice spin move on Kohler, and she's rejected at the rim by Kieran McGuff. What a play with their first minutes into this one.
Yeah, what a play indeed, and that's why Coach Shamil put her in for her 6-foot stature. That gives the team an extra 4 inches of height over Donahue's 5'8".
Very big play and rebounding as well. Here's Watson, pulls up mid-range jumper over Fleming, off front of the rim, no good, and rebounded by McGuff.
Yeah, that was a very low percentage shot by Watson.
Here's Kohler, right wing. Screen set from Ellis. Was double team initially, now out to Velasco. Guarded by Hines. Out wide McGuff. Hands it off to Kohler. Kohler working, driving baseline now, going up and over with the left end drives, and gets it to fall. Paige Kohler, another big basket.
Yeah, that was just a fantastic effort by her to work her way to the hoop.
Here's Watson, a 3 from the left corner, and she drains it. Chella Watson, her first three-point basket made this contest. 11-8 Buffalo with 2:30 left to play in the first.
Yeah, Watson, if she has any space, she's going to shoot it up.
Ellis out to Velasco. Out wide to Kohler. Now Fleming left wing. Nice pump fake there from Fleming. Cornfield doesn't bite. Fleming almost lost it, but gets it right back. Velasco. Screen set there from Ellis. Beatty falls down. No foul given. Ellis turns and can't finish. They had a wide open Kohler to the right wing. Couldn't find her. Buffalo, another big stop.
Yeah, and I think they didn't find her because the shot clock was down under 5 seconds, and the Falcons, so many offensive possessions where the shot clock is running down, and it's costing them in the early going to this one.
Here's Cornfield. Beatty back to Cornfield, and she just couldn't hold on to that one. They're going to say it was last touch off a Falcon, however, so it will be Buffalo ball. And Kay, that's a really big point you brought up. There is a lot of those Bowling Green offensive possessions. They're taking the shot clock all the way down to the final seconds, which is making it really difficult for them to put up a big shot.
Yeah, and really it's been a common theme for the Falcons when they've struggled all season long.
Indeed it has as well. This offense thrives when it's that fast-paced offense where they don't take a lot of time off that shot clock. As Velasco will check out, and Donahue will check back in for Bowling Green. Ball back in play. Here's Watson. Ariana Sewell has checked in for Buffalo as well. Watson looking to go back to Sewell, and it goes out of play. Sewell did check in for Beatty.
And Sewell is the type of player, her minutes have been so up and down, it seems like, but she does have 5 total starts this year.
It's also a Buffalo team. If you look at the games played and games started, they've gone with the same group as well. You look at a couple of players like Paula Lopez started 8, but she's played 30 games off the bench as well. So it seems like a lot of players know their role on the bench as Donahue comes away with this one. Good defensive play once again for Bowling Green. Donahue out to Fleming. She'll try 3 from the right wing. Lexi Fleming, no good. And rebounded from Watson. That was a good look for BG, but couldn't hit the shot.
Yeah, it 100% was a good look.
Here's Watson. Lewis Williams drives. A lot of contact, no good. And Fleming comes away with the rebound. Still 11-8 Buffalo, down to a minute 15 in the first quarter. Nice pass to find a wide open Donahue underneath the basket, and she lays it up and in.
Yeah, just what the Falcons needed to end the scoring drought.
11-10, down to a minute here in Cleveland in this first quarter. Here's Hines. Cornfield.
All 10 of the Falcons' points have been in the painted area thus far.
Here's Watson. Now back to Cornfield. Nice screen set from Sevo. Cornfield had found a wide open lane to the basket. Got a couple of ricochets, and it falls. 13-10 Buffalo. 40 seconds left.
Yeah, that was just some good footwork by her to create so much space.
Here's Kohler. A lot of contact there with Cornfield. And they'll get Cornfield here on this foul on the sophomore from Olmsted Falls.
Yeah, they're trying just to slow her down because they know if they can keep Kohler from scoring, that it's going to go very well for Buffalo. So they're going to get a little physical there.
All MAC honorable mention in Paige Kohler this season in her sophomore campaign. Let's show inbound this one. Fleming. Guarded by Hines. Lopez has checked in as well for the Bulls. Donahue, nice backdoor pass to Fleming, lays it up, and off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounding here from Ellis. Ellis turnaround shot, a lot of contact, no good. And rebound held in from Lewis Williams. Down to 15, shot clock is off. Lopez, 10 seconds left, now 8.
This feels like a big possession heading into the quarter break.
It does indeed. 3 seconds left. Watson drives. Watson's floater mid-range, in and out, no good. And rebound there from McGuff. And that's how this first quarter will come to a close. Defensive, physical, and not a lot separating these two teams as they're looking to punch their ticket into the semifinals round. 10 minutes in the book. 13-10 Buffalo is your score. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball, taking on the Buffalo Bulls in the 2025 MAC Tournament at Rocket Arena.
Wake up and get going with the music you know and love. Early Bird Oldies broadcasts weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. and plays all the tunes you remember. Find WBGU on the bottom of the dial at 88.1 FM or streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Early Bird Oldies will put a smile on your face and make you tap your feet. And it's only on WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
If you're already awake between 4 and 6 a.m., you may as well have a good time. Check out Early Bird Oldies, playing all the hit music of a different generation on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU. Don't forget to listen to the morning show immediately following Early Bird Oldies every weekday, right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our two stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
Back here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, the Falcons down by 3 over the Buffalo Bulls. 13-10 is your score as we head into the second quarter. Lucas Clymer alongside Caden, I'm with you right here on WBGU 88.1 FM for the quarterfinals round of the 2025 MAC Basketball Tournament. Been a fun day of action there, Caden. A lot of games so far this game. It's been all chalk so far, all the favorites winning. And with this one, whoever wins this one will face the Rockets in the semifinals.
Yeah, and to your point, just like all the games have been really fun despite, the scoring disparity in some of them. But it's tournament time. It's March. Anything can happen, and it's always a lot of fun.
Indeed, it is as well. Falcon Media Sports Network, to remind you, is broadcasting all 14 games here in the MAC tournament. All 4 have been broadcast today. We have 4 tomorrow. We have 4 Friday as well, and the 2 championship games on Saturday as well. So that should be fun. Nice thing to look forward to as well as we're underway here in the second quarter. Lopez for the Bulls will bring it up for UB. Here's Beatty to Watson, top of the key. Feeds it down low. Lewis Williams, nice pump fake, too strong there, no good. And rebounded from Porter. Good defensive play for Bowling Green to get us started here in the second quarter. Here's Velasco. Velasco won a screen set, but a very physical defense from Buffalo in the face of any Falcon. Bring the ball up the court. Donahue, Fleming locks and loaded 3 from the right wing. No good, just short. Nice rebound there from Porter. Porter spin move up and no good. Rebounded from Donahue. Ball on the floor, loose ball. Donahue gets it out. Velasco. Kohler, Joe lock and loaded 3 from top of the key. That one no good. Donahue trying to get the ball into the hands of Lopez as Beatty took a bump. Yeah, officials timeout as Beatty was guarding for that rebound and took a little bit of a knock. And again, Caden there, that was a good offensive spell for Bowling Green. They got the open shots. The hustle was there, but shots just aren't going in.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. And An interesting note with Erica Porter, before this game, she had not missed a shot since the NIU game. She did 11 of 11. Now she's 1 of 3 today. So
Indeed.
Rare to see her miss shots as of late.
Watson has that one picked away from Donahue. Leads the MAC and steals the freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here come the Falcons on the break. Kohler driving on Watson. Kohler puts it up with the right, a little too strong. Up and over into Porter. Porter puts it up. Porter, and it gets it to fall. Big, strong finish from EP.
That shot from Paige Kohler almost looked like a pass. It landed so perfectly in Erica Porter's arms.
13-12 Buffalo, so lead cut down to just one. 8:33 left to play here in the second quarter. That offense possession is last off of Watson, and it will be Bowling Green ball as Watson and Beatty will get a breather.
The Falcons doing a good job at applying pressure.
You have Sewell, Lopez, Hines, Cornfield, and Lewis Williams on the floor for the Bulls. You have Porter, Donahue, Fleming, Kohler, and Velasco for BG. Here's Velasco now. A lot of contact, driving with the left shot, no good. Gets it back, however. Fleming in the corner. Nice find to Donahue, top of the key by the charity stripe. Donahue dribbles outside with the right. Donahue. Nice pass to find Kohler. Kohler, Fleming now, mid-range 2, and Lexi Fleming connects to give Bowling Green the lead here in the second.
Yeah, Fleming's a player you cannot leave wide open like that. She's going to hit it 9 times out of 10.
Her first points in this one, 14-13 Bowling Green. Another turnover for Buffalo. Donahue comes away with it once again. Donahue, Fleming, she'll try 3 from the right wing. Lexi Fleming, and she connects. Back-to-back big baskets for Fleming, 17-13 Bowling Green.
In the last 4 games, Fleming is 54.7% from beyond the arc. She's been feeling it.
And Fleming knocked that one away from Lopez initially, but Lopez got it right back. Lopez and Fleming there collide. It's going to be an offensive foul on Lopez. Big play, Fleming, here in this one.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you would expect from the 5th-year guard. She's been here, done that.
McGuff will check in for Donahue, so that's earning a foul and a 3 and a basket for Fleming just in the last minute. 17-13 Bowling Green, 4-point lead for the Orange and Brown. 7:25 left to play here before halftime. Velasco trying to feed that one to Porter. And it looks like they're going to get Buffalo again on this foul. And it looks like they're going to get Sewell. So that's going to be Sewell's first personal. Velasco inbound, 20 on the shot clock here. Inbound to Porter. Hands it off to Velasco. Back to Fleming. Fleming to Kohler. Kohler drives, gets by Watson there, shot no good. And Porter and Kohler both colliding for that ball.
Yeah, Kohler tried to throw it off of, I believe that was Watson, but her foot landed out of bounds just before she was able to do that. And Lucas, Buffalo has not scored in 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
Still looking for the first points this quarter. The Bulls. Here's Hines. Sewell. Lewis Williams, guarded by McGuff. Watson hands it back to Lewis Williams. Nice moves inside, drives to the right, puts it up and in, and there's the scoring drought broken by Lewis Williams. 17-15 Bowling Green, 6:45 left to play here in the second. Velasco looking to go backdoor to Fleming. That was read from Watson. It was last off of the All-MAC first-team player, and it'll be Bowling Green ball.
Yeah, you can tell that Buffalo's been studying their film because that is a pass that the Falcons execute so well, so often, and it winds up in points. That time it does not, though.
Velasco to Fleming here in the right corner. Fleming moves here with the left. Fleming hands it off to Porter. Porter, physical shove there, kept that ball in play. No foul was called, but then just threw it right back to Hines. So a turnover for Bowling Green. Here's Cornfield. Pump fakes, hands it off to Watson, guarded by Kohler. Watson, nice move. Watson hands it off to Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams working on Fleming there. And they're going to take the foul, so they're going to get an offensive foul here on Lewis Williams. How about Lexi Fleming there standing her ground?
Yeah, she set herself so that she knew that if there was any contact, she would fall over and she would not be the guilty party of the foul.
So another big defensive stop for Bowling Green. Lewis Williams now. That's going to be her second personal foul this game. She'll check out. And checking in for the Bulls for the first time this game is Tira Harness. Velasco had that pass knocked out of bounds, so Bowling Green will inbound it once again, but this time a little bit closer. Kohler feeds it inside to Donahue. Fleming was making the run there to the basket. Likes to go back out to Donahue. Donahue now bounce pass to Velasco. She's tripped up from Hines.
Yeah, and again, Velasco would have had a wide open lane to the hoop had she not been tripped up there.
She did indeed, and a lot of Buffalo fouls here in the second quarter. Bowling Green already in the bonus. Feeds inside to Fleming, takes a couple of bounces, no good. Ellis trying to get that one back outside, can't do so. Watson comes away with it. Nice couple of dribbles to get around a couple of Falcon defenders. Watson drives to the rim, too strong there. Just trying to do it all herself there. Empty-handed, Donahue at the Fleming. On the fast break, Velasco, she'll try a three. Amy Velasco, no good. And rebounding from Sewell.
Well, there's two forced-up shots by both teams' leaders. On one end, Watson had three Falcons around her, shouldn't have taken that shot, and then Velasco kind of just put that one up there with a bunch of Buffalo traffic around her.
Sewell. Here's Watson. Screen set there from Sewell. Watson pulls up mid-range jumper off front of the rim, no good. An unusual shooting night for her. 2 for 7, just 5 points for Watson. Still 17-15 Bowling Green, 5:15 almost midway through the second quarter here at Rocket Arena. Kohler to Fleming. Here's Velasco. Velasco guarded here from Hina. Screen set from Donahue and Ellis. They'll try to get free there, and they're going to get the Bulls again here on this foul.
And that means Velasco free throws as well.
That'll be Hines' second personal foul. And it does mean Velasco free throws for the number one free throw shooter in the MAC.
At 92.9%.
All-MAC first-team selection as well. In her final season with the Falcons. Look at what she's done this season. Double digits in 27 out of the 30 games this season for Bowling Green. Velasco has been unreal in her senior campaign. That first one is up and good. So now 18-15 Bowling Green.
Meanwhile, Cecil did enter the game for the first time.
Emily Cecil checking in. Lexi Fleming gets a breather. 2 for 2 trip there for Velasco. 19-15 Bowling Green. We're now under 5 minutes left to play in the second. Here's Watson guarded by Donahue. Taking her time here, setting the offense, looking for the right play. Watson drives to the right side. Watson there. And it's going to be another offensive foul, this time on Watson. What a good job there from Emily Cecil to draw that one.
Absolutely nothing is going right for Buffalo as of late. They've gone scoreless through the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The Falcons on a 9-2 run, Lucas, over the last 6:04, and it's why they have the 4-point advantage heading into the media timeout.
Media timeout here on tap. That means this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 19-15 Bowling Green's your score. 4:41 left to play before halftime in the 2025 Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinals round. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball taking on the Buffalo Bulls right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On November 15th, 2024, BGSU Hockey defeated St. Thomas in a shootout, courtesy of a game winner by defenseman Jack Blake. Falcon Media Sports Network's voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak, had the call of the moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And Jack Blake, for all the glory, trying to put this one away. With the puck, taking it around, far side wheel, working in with the shot, and he fills it! Jack Blake with the shootout winner! First time in the lineup this season, and Jack Blake is the hero as Bowling Green mobs him.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Start your day with WBGU FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune in to Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, Bowling Green up by 4, 19-15 over the Buffalo Bulls here in this Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinals matchup right here at WBGU. Lucas Clymer alongside Katie and Matt with you. Been on a low-scoring first half here, but Bowling Green definitely had a much better second quarter than they did in the first.
Yeah, 100%. And, I mean, the defensive pressure has stayed. The difference is they've been scoring more, and that's why, again, they have that lead that they have built of 4, and that's why they're on this big run.
As I mentioned throughout the broadcast, Falcon Media Sports Network are broadcasting all 14 tournament games from the men's and women's games. And right in front of us here, we also have the Bowling Green men's team. They'll be taking on the number 1 seeded Akron Zips tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can listen to the broadcast on Falcon Radio. Tyler Cavalitz and Nadia Brego will be on the call for that one. Should be a fun slate of games for the men tomorrow. Wednesday's for women, as they say here on the first day of the MAC tournament. Tomorrow will be for men, and then Friday the first 2 games will be women, and then the final 2 will be the men as well. Then Saturday the championships as well. So back underway here. Erica Porter's back in for Bowling Green and friendly Cecil. Porter puts on the brakes, working on Beatty. Beatty looking for the pass, and gets it out to Velasco. Velasco to Donahue, right wing. Donahue hands it off to Kohler. Kohler feeds it inside of Porter. Porter working on B. Nice spin move, Erica Porter, up and in. What a big basket there from the 5th-year forward.
And that's something that she practices constantly. Good on her to put that in.
21-15, Bowling Green with about 4 minutes left to play before halftime. Cornfield working on Fleming. Now kicks it right back out to Beatty, and a mid-range shot there is up and good. 21-17, lead cut down to 4.
I think we need to give a lot of appreciation to that Cornfield pass. She was kind of falling down, and she wasn't looking in the direction of where she passed it.
Velasco, nice feed to Porter. Nice pump fake and up and in. Another big basket for Erica Porter. Lead back up to 6, 23-17. Porter leads the Falcons with 8. Watson tries to drive again, and another offensive foul is going to be called again on Watson.
Yeah, that's her second personal.
This time, Amy Velasco takes the foul for Bowling Green. And it has not been the half envisioned for Watson. 2 for 8, 5 points, and 2 personal fouls. No personal fouls for Bowling Green, and while 9 for Buffalo. Here's Velasco. Donahue trying to feed Porter underneath the basket, and does. Porter.
3 in the key.
3 in the key, indeed. She was working on Sewell there. Too much. And it will be Buffalo ball as Hines will check back into this game, checking out for Watson.
Yeah, it's not too often that we see a 3 in the key. I think we can count on one hand the amount of times the Falcons have been called for that this season.
Here's Cornfield. Feeds it down low in the paint. Sewell working on Porter. Sewell going up and in, no good. And ripped away from Porter's hands by Cornfield. Cornfield, a lot of contact, kicks it back outside. Here's Harness.
Good defense underneath by Erica Porter to lock that down.
Shot clock down to 5. Cornfield looking for any sort of separation she can. That run rolls in and out. And rebound held in from Donahue.
Yeah, not the shot they wanted to take, but the shot clock was running low, so they had to take it.
Donahue. Here's Fleming. So 23-17 Bowling Green. 2:37 left to play here in the second quarter before halftime. Velasco. Feeds it to Donahue. Donahue, nice spin move, lays it up, and no good, low too strong. That was last touch off with Sewell. It'll be Bowling Green ball.
Yeah, Sewell and Lopez both going for the basketball on Buffalo's side, and they ended up batting it out of bounds instead of retrieving it in play.
Here's Porter to Fleming. Donahue. Inbound pass, nice spin move from Porter. A lot of contact, couldn't quite get the separation she wanted and be out of bounds And Buffalo take over.
Coach Shamil giving Erica Porter a long stare. You notice how Buffalo is very good at adjusting, and in the first quarter it was Paige Kohler they kind of locked down. Now they're turning their focus to Erica Porter underneath.
There's Cornfield. Cornfield gets it out to Sewell underneath the basket, and that shot won't fall. Would have been a big foul call, so Erica Porter will get her first of the foul, as Ellis will check back in.
Yeah, and Buffalo kind of got a lucky bounce before the foul was called, because otherwise they wouldn't have even had the opportunity to shoot again.
So the first time a Bull will go to the free throw line this game, Sewell's first attempt is up and no good.
Sewell, the UMES transfer from the Bronx.
70% free throw shooter on this season. The second one is up and good, so 23-18 is now your score. 2 minutes left before halftime here at Rocket Arena. Here's Fleming. Donahue. He's looking for Kohler. Velasco. There by Harness. A lot of contact again. Velasco drives, kicks it out. Donahue tries a mid-range two. That one up and over. An empty possession there for Bowling Green. Here's Cornfield.
Very good look for Donahue as well.
Here's Heenis. Cornfield again. Serving as the primary ball handler now. Watson is out. Harness. Cornfield again. Shot clock down to 8 now. Cornfield pulls a mid-range, and that's good. Patience there for Buffalo. Pays off. Lead cut down to 3. 23-20. Down to a minute 10.
Yeah, I was just about to say just how patient they were in that possession to create that shot.
Here's Kohler. Hands it off to Velasco. To Donahue.
The Falcons haven't scored in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Donahue hands off to Kohler. Kohler working on Lopez. Trying to break the scoring drought. Kohler gives a wide open Fleming. Wide open for the corner for 3. Lexi Fleming drains it.
What a shot.
Big 3 from Fleming, 26-20. Now Cornfield comes back the other way and drains the mid-range 2. The cut to lead down to 4, 26-22. 30 seconds left here before halftime.
It's almost like these two teams are kind of feeding off each other's momentum.
Oregon's going to take it down as much as they can. About 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Donahue looking to get Kohler, now does. Kohler bounce pass to Fleming. Fleming looks back for Donahue. Out to Kohler. Kohler moving on to Heenis. Kohler. Shoot back to Donahue. Donahue drives. It's rejected by the rim from Beatty. 3 seconds left. Gets it back to Fleming. Fleming. Kohler puts it up as the shot clock expiring and just short there. It was online. Didn't quite have the distance she wanted. But Bowling Green will go into the halftime locker room with a 4-point lead here at Rocket Arena. 26-22 is your score here. 20 minutes of basketball in the book. We have 20 minutes of basketball left to be played. When we come back, Kate and I will recap what we saw in the first half and preview what's to come in the third quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball taking on the Buffalo Bulls in the 2025 MAC Tournament quarterfinals round.
Wake up and get going with the music you know and love on Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Early Bird Oldies broadcasts weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. and plays all the tunes you remember. Find WBGU on the bottom of the dial on 88.1 FM or streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Early Bird Oldies will put a smile on your face and make you tap your feet. And it's only on WBGU Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
If you're already awake between 4 and 6 a.m., you may as well have a good time. Check out Early Bird Oldies, playing all the hit music of a different generation on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU. Don't forget to listen to the morning show immediately following Early Bird Oldies every weekday right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
You can be an essential part of the morning show's continued success on WBGU FM. The Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce offers businesses and organizations an opportunity to be an underwriter. Under the umbrella of the Chamber, you'll receive your mentions each month during either news and sports programming or feature segments. It's an affordable opportunity to be part of something unique in Wood County.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.
You could listen to WBGU 88.1 FM, or you could be part of the action. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on-air, promotions, social media, music selection, and more. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM, the return to radio freedom.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics, only on WBGU 88.1 FM. On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
WBGU-FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Tune in daily for local programming that includes the morning show, oldies, indie rock, children's music, folk jazz, world music, and so much more. WBGU is the return to radio freedom. Give us a listen on 88.1 FM or online at bgfalconmedia.com. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Back here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, halftime here in the 2025 Mid-American Conference Tournament quarterfinal round between the 3-seeded Buffalo Bulls and your number 6-seeded Bowling Green Falcons. 26-22 is your score. The Falcons lead by 4 in an offensive first half, but they had the lead nonetheless at the halfway point. Lucas Kleinmeyer alongside K-Net with you for WBGU 88.1 FM. It's been a full day, full of fun, and a day where all the favorites have prevailed.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, starting with Ball State, they led that game wire to wire and just pulled away at the end to get a big victory over Western Michigan. And then Kent State and Miami, that game started out really, really close. And then Kent State kind of pulled away into the second half, and then Miami brought it back close. But Kent State ended up winning. That was a game that Kent State controlled the whole way, despite the score being, I believe, a 9-point differential. And then we just saw Toledo defeat Central Michigan. Central Michigan dominated every single stat category heading into the intermission, and we saw why Toledo is so good and how good they are at making adjustments at the halftime break, and they ended up running away with a victory against the Chippewas.
They did indeed, and that's a pretty good summary from the 3 games, but in the end, all the favorites did prevail. And you mentioned that Kent State and Miami game, and that was, in my opinion, one of the best matchups in this opening round because of just how similar both teams are and how both teams played this season. But Kent State went on that run a little bit in that game, and then they kind of just sealed it towards the end. They put Miami at arm's length, and kind of similar. It was back and forth to Central and Toledo, but then Toledo in the second half just went on that run and they never looked back and got the big victory. But here, Bowling Green and Buffalo, I don't think it's quite exactly as a shootout from the first half. You look at Bowling Green shooting 11 for 35 in that first half. That's 31%. Buffalo 10 for 24. That's good for just 41%. No player in the game has reached double figures yet, but Bowling Green, Fleming, and Polar have got the job done.
Yeah, they really have, each scoring 8 in the first half. And, I mean, Porter has been big underneath. I mean, there's been certain times where Coach Shamil has been upset with her, so he subbed her out. But when she's been in the game for the most part, she's been good. And then Fleming's hit very timely shots. And that's just her type of game style. She knows when she needs to shoot the basketball, when she needs to hit a big shot. And then also kind of flying under the radar is Paige Kohler. She had a really good start to the game and leads the team with 4 assists. She's jumped into the top 10 in the MAC in that category at number 9.
She has indeed, and I think a relatively quiet half probably for Velasco and Kohler by her standards, but Kohler definitely a little bit underrated there with what she did doing the dirty work for Bowling Green. Leads the Falcons in assists with 4, and on the other side for the Buffalo Bulls, the league scores are 6 points, and that's Lewis Williams and Cornfield.
Yeah, the two have had their moments to shine, really. And I think the kind of surprising thing is that Watson has been off. She has scored 5 points, 2 of 8 from the floor. You mentioned it multiple times. She's also committed 2 fouls on top of that. And she's a player that Buffalo heavily relies on. She averages over 20 points per game. And I really think that is going to be Coach Burke's number one message during the break is how can we get Watson going, because that's how our offense starts to get going. This is a team that averages 74.3 points per game, and it's largely because of her.
And the number one scoring offense in the MAC, like we mentioned earlier, and it's very uncharacteristic for them to just have 22 points at halftime. But I think it's safe to say that second half adjustments are going to be pretty big.
Yes, 100%. We were talking about it off air. I think whoever makes the bigger, better adjustment during this 15-minute intermission is going to come out on top. And I also think that the second half we're going to see a lot more scoring. I mean, just because, like you said, Buffalo's number 1 in the MAC in scoring. The Falcons are number 4 at 72 points per game. So I would expect really one of these teams, or even both of them, to come out kind of like on fire and hit a lot of shots right from the beginning. And we'll see how that carries into the rest of the game. But definitely both coaches are going to have their things that they're going to want to adjust and emphasize.
Bowling Green had no bench points in that first half. Buffalo had just 1, so both benches not playing that much of a factor. You look at the rebounding category, Bowling Green out-rebounded Buffalo 20-17 in that first half. Look at turnovers as well. A Buffalo Bulls team that had the number 1 turnover margin 12 turnovers for them, 7 for BG. Bowling Green win the turnover battle has also been crucial.
Yeah, and points off turnover, just a big category. Falcons winning that 11-2, and there's the difference really, plus then some. And I think for the Falcons, you have 3 players off the bench today, and Ellis, McGuff, and Cecil, who played a combined 12 minutes. But the 1 point for Buffalo in their bench points is more concerning because their players off the bench have played a significant amount of time.
They have indeed, and you look at the Bulls as well. Only one person foul for Bowling Green. That was tasked to Erica Porter. You have Hines, Watson, and Lewis Williams all on 2 personal fouls. 3 Bulls and Cornfield Lopez Silva also have 1 as well. So a couple of Bulls definitely picked up some fouls in that first half. So they're going to be careful here down the stretch not to get themselves foul trouble and get fouled out. Yeah,
100%. I mean, if your top players, or I should start this statement with this: the best ability is availability. We know that with every single sport, really. And if you're out, then you're not able to help your team on the floor.
Indeed as well. Well, adjustments are going to be huge. We'll see which team can pull away. Will it be the number 6 seeded Bowling Green Falcons or the number 3 seeded Buffalo Bulls? 26-22, the Falcons lead at the half. Here we are just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds away here from third quarter tip-off here in Cleveland, Ohio at Rocket Arena. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the 2025 MAC Tournament quarterfinals right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Soon after humans began to walk upright, they invented folk music, and folk music was the only music, and it was good. Then came civilization, and rival musical genres arose. Gregorian chant, classical music, jazz, rock and roll, and there was cacophony, but folk music survived, and when the economy and technology collapse and civilization devolves into barbarism, these upstart genres will fall away, and folk music will rise again to its natural dominance. You can prepare yourself now for that inevitable future by tuning in to the Folk Music Show Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
Ready to start the third quarter here in Cleveland. 26-22 is your score. Bowling Green a 4-point lead over the Buffalo Bulls. The winner will face the Toledo Rockets in the semifinals of the 2025 MAC tournament. Lucas Kleinmeyer alongside Caden with you. Welcome you back inside the broadcast. Defensive, physical first half. Both teams looking to get going more offensively at the start of this one.
Yeah, and we'll see right away what adjustments each team made. This is the 5th time these two teams have actually matched up in the MAC tournament as well.
As we mentioned last year, the Bulls took down the Falcons in the quarterfinals round. And they were the 4 and 5 seeded games. This is the 3 and 6 seeded. 3 being the Bulls, 6 being the Falcons. Buffalo is a team that Shamil has yet to beaten at his time here in Bowling Green, but this could be his biggest win as a head coach in Bowling Green to advance the Falcons in the semifinals. Back underway here, Bowling Green starts with the ball. Velasco into Porter. Porter looking for Donahue. And they're going to get
3 in the key.
Yep, 3 in the key again. That's the second. We've almost never seen that this season for this orange and brown team, and that's the second time we've seen it in just this contest.
Yeah, and Erica Porter guilty of both of them. It was the same official calling them as well.
Here's Watson for Buffalo. Pulls up mid-range jumper, up and good. 26-24. Bowling Green, 9:30 left to play here in the third.
Well, like we said during our halftime report, they're going to get Watson involved.
Here's Kohler to Donahue. Donahue puts on the moves on Cornfield. Donahue puts a shot up and no good. Lewis Williams and Downey both jostling for that ball. We lost off of Lewis Williams, and BG will remain with possession.
Yeah, Donahue went right at Lewis Williams there. Couldn't hit the shot.
Velasco inbound to Fleming, here the right wing near the Bowling Green bench. Kohler trying to feed that one to Porter, and it was last off of Erica Porter and goes out of bounds for a Buffalo ball. And you see there, that's something that Bowling Green really worked on a lot, was kind of those high arcing passes to Porter inside the post, but Buffalo read that one.
Yeah, and there was 2 Bulls on each side of her as well, so there was really nothing there, even if Porter would have caught that.
Here's Cornfield, Lewis Williams, Sewell. Cornfield now pulls a mid-range jumper from the charity stripe, and we are tied at 26 apiece with 8:45 left to play here in the third.
And the Falcons have not scored in 2 minutes, stretching back into the first half.
Here's Kohler. Donahue drives inside, looking backdoor for Fleming. Donahue trying to give it back to Fleming, and just a careless pass, but fortunate for Bowling Green, it's off of Hines' foot, and it'll go out of play for Bowling Green ball.
Yeah, if that pass would have been a little higher, Hines and the Bulls would have had a fast break, wide open layup. Crisis avoided, though.
Here's Velasco. Fleming to Kohler. Kohler on Ellis there. Kohler hands off to Velasco. Velasco pulls up there as the buzzer expires. Gets a couple of favorable bounces and drops Amy Velasco. First basket of the second half, 28-26 Bowling Green.
Yeah, if she has space on those little runners, she's going to make it.
Cornfield puts up a hierarchy shot, no good. Lewis Williams does so well to keep that in play and kicks out to a wide open Chella Watson for a 3. Nothing but net. Buffalo takes the lead 29-28, under 8 minutes left to play in the third.
And that was all created by the nice save there, and just Watson.
Lewis Williams there. Kid, I don't know how she kept her feet in bounds.
I don't either. And Watson was just so wide open.
Ellis checked in for Porter, mind you, and Ellis found herself open there in the basket. But Alexis Davis will get the foul there on Ellis. Alexis Davis, we didn't see her at all in that first half of this one.
Yeah, Coach Burke already digging deeper into her bench.
Velasco feeds it to Ellis. Back to Velasco. Screen set from Ellis. Velasco drives to the left, trying to get it to Fleming. Has it knocked away. Shot clock down to 7. Velasco, screen set again from Ellis. Trying to get some separation for a shot. Velasco working on Cornfield. Puts up just a hierarchy shot. Highly contested. Into the hands of Lewis Williams.
Yeah, I think Cornfield got a hand on that. That's why it missed so badly.
Watson there trying to get a 3, and that one just a little short off the right side of the rim.
Yeah,
Donahue.
Fleming was right in her face.
Velasco, Kohler working on Hines. Kohler there, tough shot in and out into the hands of Davis.
And now we're trading missed shots.
Davis to Lewis Williams. Still 29-28 Buffalo, under 7 minutes left to play in the third. Kohler and Donahue working on Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams takes a little bit of contact to the face, and they'll get Paige Kohler for her first personal foul.
Yeah, both Kohler and Donahue were very in on that play. Donahue ran into some foul trouble last time out against Eastern Michigan.
Here's Cornfield off this inbound. Davis guarded by Ellis. Out to Watson, top of the key. Now she's guarded by Velasco. Watson, Cornfield pulls a mid-range jumper. That one no good. Davis are trying to hold the rebound. Donahue went over the back trying to get the basket there. Davis fell down. And I believe they will get the freshman here. And they will. So that'll be her first personal foul, and Buffalo will remain with the ball. Cornfield inbound bounce pass. Watson over the inside the basket and just too strong there. Man, and that was a bunny shot that just couldn't get that one to fall.
Those are the type of shots that come back to haunt you if you lose.
How about Lexi Fleming? Right in front of Watson, taking a 3, and she drains it to give Bowling Green the lead back, 31-29. Here comes UB back the other way. Lewis Williams to Davis. Outside to Watson. Watson gets some separation again, gets by Ellis. Watson, no good again. just been a little bit off this game than Chella Watson.
Another very good look as well.
And Ellis there trying to get a bullet pass to Velasco. It was lost off of Cornfield. Will remain BG ball as Porter comes in for Ellis. Tira Harness will come in for Buffalo. Watson checks out. I mean, Watson got going. She leads the team in scoring with 10 points so far in this one. Hit a couple of shots, but they missed a couple of shots you would just like to see her make.
Yeah, she got an earful from Coach Becky Burke.
Kohler, a three down the right wing. That one rolls in and out, no good. Donahue does well there to hit that one off of Lewis Williams and get the ball right back for Bowling Green.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lewis Williams wasn't able to grab the basketball before it went out of bounds.
31-29 Bowling Green, 5:50 left to play here in the third. Velasco, the Fleming tries a three, and it's rejected from Harness and out of bounds.
Harness read that one like a book.
What kind of book?
I don't know.
Goes out of bounds. Bowling Green will make the ball again. 18 on the shot clock. And like you mentioned there, Kaden, no hesitation there from Harness. Just immediately swung that one away.
Then she gave Fleming the long stare afterwards. Like, yeah, I just did that.
So Velasco inbound, 18 on the shot clock. Velasco into Porter. Porter gets it back to Velasco. Nice separation there. Velasco drains it mid-range two. Nicely drawn up there for Bowling Green. 33-29, Orange and Brown.
Kudos to Porter for making sure that she had space to shoot that, did Velasco.
Cornfield drives to the basket, puts up a highly contested shot. No good, but she is fouled. And it looks like they'll get Amy Velasco. Be her first person to foul for number one.
Yeah, but going back to that Velasco shot, that was an interesting play design, Lucas, with Porter kind of sticking both her hands in the air to kind of distract the Buffalo defense.
Cornfield, first one's up and in. 33-30 now is your score. Bowling Green up by 3. Cornfield again, second one, in and out. So 1 for 2 trip there for Cornfield and the Bulls. Bowling Green remains at 3.
Yeah, they're 50% from the line today, and they're second in the MAC this season in free throw percentage, so uncharacteristic from them.
Goal bounce pass to Fleming. Fleming gets a separation from Harness, keeps the ball in play. To Donahue out to Kohler. She'll try three from the left wing. Kohler! Nothing but net for Paige Kohler. What a play from Bowling Green.
My goodness, that was fantastic quick passing to get Kohler the look she wanted, and she splashed it in.
Cornfield pulls a mid-range jumper up and in to keep the lead to just 4 for Bowling Green, 36-32. Cornfield now leads the Bulls in scoring with 11. Donahue. The Kohler. She'll try another three. Why not? Yes! Make it 2 for 2 for Paige Kohler. Big threes here in the third quarter.
Heat check time from downtown. What a shot for her.
39-32. Lead extends to 7 now for Bowling Green. Cornfield pulls up. That one in and out, no good. Into the hands of Kohler.
Kohler just so good at defensive rebounds.
Here's Donahue. Bowling Green can make their lead as much as double digits if they hit another three here. Kohler. Fleming. Screen set here from Porter. Fleming. Out to Donahue. Donahue drives inside it. Tries to get to Porter. Lewis Williams trying to touch it off. Be last off of Lewis Williams. The official thinks it's be last off of Porter instead. It's going to be Buffalo ball.
Well, both officials had different viewpoints. They talked about it. And that'll bring us to our under 5 media timeout.
And will indeed Shamil walking all the way across the court to have a little discussion with the official. But that will bring us our first media timeout. Bowling Green, a couple of big threes from Kohler. Has the Orange and Brown up by 7. 39-32 is your score with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left to play before we reach the fourth quarter. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball. Take out the Bulls here in the MAC Tournament quarterfinals right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network is finally back on the road with BGSU hockey. Make sure to catch the voice of Falcon hockey, Ben Korak, on the call for every BGSU game this season on WBGU 88.1 FM.
聆听世界音乐。
Did you hear that, kids? You too can join the International Humanist Conspiracy. All you have to do is listen to the World Music Show.
দেশের নয় শুনুন পৃথিবীর গান।
That's right, music from everywhere but here, Sundays starting at 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Back here out of this media timeout. As always, this media timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Featuring coffee, craft beer, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can see the latest menu by visiting juniperbrew.com. A couple of big threes from Kohler has the Falcons lead up by 7. 39-32 is your score here. 4 minutes and 4 seconds to be exact left here in the third quarter before we head to the fourth. Luce Clymer alongside Caden Knapp with you right here on WBGU 80.1 FM.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what, as a Falcon fan, we wanted all season long, is to see the team play really as a team together. We were saying it a lot during out-of-conference play and really into the beginning of conference play, that it feels like, you know, one player has a really good game and then they don't win because it wasn't an entire team performance. And it's like more individual, despite them being so tight-knit of a group. And now it's really that tight-knitness and them playing together for so long has really come together, and it's doing wonders for them.
It's also just the momentum they've had this game and the end of the season after that second Toledo loss, 9-2 to finish out the year. Here's Lewis Williams for the Bulls as we resume play here in the third quarter. Lewis Williams. And it's going to be an offensive foul.
I think they actually got a 3 in the key. A third one.
They did. They did indeed. It's part of my mistake there. Velasco and the Kohler. Fleming, right wing. Guarded by Harness. Fleming makes a nice couple of moves on Harness. Fleming drives, and that one rolls in. Nice couple of favorable bounces from Fleming. The lead is up for Bowling Green by 9. 41-32 is your score as Watson drives, lays it up and in.
Yeah, she went right at Kohler with that one, just like Fleming went right at Buffalo on her offensive possession.
Here's Kohler. Feeds it to Erica Porter. Now feeds it to Velasco. Velasco moves, trying to feed it to Porter in the post, and does. Pump fakes, Porter up and in. That's her bread and butter, right where she wants it. Another big basket for Porter.
Yeah, nice fake move by her as well.
43-34, Bowling Green to 2:43 left to play here before we reach the fourth quarter. Bowling Green extends their lead to 9. Here's Cornfield. Drives, puts on the brakes, looking for Davis, and it's stolen away there from Kohler.
I don't know how Kohler snuck in there to take that one away. She read the passing lane.
Here's Kohler. Bounce pass to Donahue. Donahue. Here's the Fleming. Fleming. In and out. That would have been a deep 2, I believe. Her feet were just in front of the three-point line. Instead, Bowling Green comes empty-handed. Watson, and that one rolls in for Chella Watson. 43-36 now is your score. Bowling Green lead cut down to 7.
Yeah, that was a good little runner for her.
Under 2 minutes left to play here before the fourth quarter. here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Velasco. Nice feed inside to Porter. Puts it up and in. Erica Porter, 2+1 on the way coming up. She's been monstrous in this third quarter.
Yeah, she really has. And I was about to say before there was a whistle that there should have been a foul there because you could see from up here that her jersey was being tugged on. And good on her to power through it and make the basket anyway.
That'll be on Alexis Davis. That's her second personal foul. Porter has a chance to make it a double-digit lead. And she does. 46-36 Bowling Green. Down to 1:39 left to play here as Velasco and Porter now check out. Ellis and Cecil check in.
Definitely a defensive move by Coach Shamil.
Been a great quarter, especially scoring-wise for Bowling Green. Here's Cornfield. To Watson. Watson will try a three. That one in and out into the hands of Cecil.
Again, she just had the look, just couldn't convert.
Here's Kohler. Kohler. Works on Harness. Kohler out to Fleming, and he got it to go. Lexi Fleming. The lead extends to 13 for Bowling Green, 49-36. Down to a minute left.
Yeah, nothing but smiles all around BG right now.
Loose ball on the floor. And I believe Bowling Green got the timeout taken before that loose ball. So timeout taken for Bowling Green. This timeout, as always, sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can see all this menu at juniperbrew.com, but we'll stay right here with you. And man, Kaden, what a third quarter this has been for Bowling Green offensively. 13-point lead, and they're trying to pull away from the Bulls here heading into the fourth.
Yeah, and I mean, this 6-0 run over the last 63 seconds has been a big reason why they've been able to kind of pull away a little bit. And they're 7 of their last 8 from the floor, on top of that 3 of their last 4 from beyond the arc. And when you are shooting that well, it is going to go very well for you.
Indeed it is, and Fleming now, a game high, 16 points on 4 from 8 shooting from the 3-point, from beyond the 3-point arc, and then 6 for 12 shooting from the floor, 3 rebounds as well, and has played 29 minutes so far in this contest as well. Kohler also has 10 points as well with 6 assists and 4 rebounds. She's had quite the night as well. Erica Porter, though, is right behind Fleming and scoring 13 and 5 rebounds as well. So a couple of Falcons getting going here, especially in the second half. The Bulls trying to keep up. You have Watson now with 14 points and 6 for 16 shooting. Cornfield 11 points, and besides that, Caden, no other Buffalo Bulls have really gotten going scoring-wise.
Yeah, they really haven't, and I mean, to have a good performance or win a playoff game, you need to have really all hands on deck, especially against a really good team, and they just really haven't had that scoring-wise. And like we kind of said with Watson, just she's had her moments, but this is an unusual game for her.
Still for 6 for 16 shooting. I mean, it's been an uncharacteristic shooting for her night, efficient-wise. I mean, she hasn't. Yeah, she's leading the scoring, but a lot of shots that she's missed on any given night you expect her to make.
Yeah, 100%. And, I mean, there's a reason why. She's led the team in scoring 25 separate times this season. So, yes, you expect that production out of her, and we'll see again if she can lead the team back, because they will rely on her like they have all season.
Bowling Green is winning the rebound battle with 29-21. Points in the paint as well has gone heavily in Bowling Green's favor, 24-14. Those are key areas that BG have really stepped up their game. Turnovers as well, we mentioned it. Buffalo only 3 turnovers so far in this quarter, but they still have committed 5 more turnovers in Bowling Green, 15-10.
Yeah, and again, like we said, kind of at the locker room break, taking advantage of those turnovers is even bigger, with the Falcons outscoring the Bulls 13-6 in that point category. And another thing is, they made 20 baskets today. The Falcons have 14 of those baskets have come from assists.
Pretty impressive, and Bowling Green's at their best when they share the basketball. That is for certain. And that's been the case here in this third quarter. So we have 55.3 seconds left. As we mentioned, Bowling Green got the timeout right before the loose ball. So the Orange and Brown looking to build on their 13-point lead here heading in to the fourth quarter. Here's Kohler. Kohler to Donahue. Donahue out to Fleming. Fleming drives to the right there looking for an option there. Fleming spins around, still looking for an option. Fleming puts up a tough shot, no good, no foul called. Lewis Williams gets it back to Harness. Harness bounce past the Cornfield, puts it up, no good, but she's fouled by Kohler.
What a series of events. I think Fleming was going up with it like she did because the shot clock was about to expire. And then on the other end, Buffalo was outnumbered for a second, but good job passing it to Cornfield, and she drew the foul.
Indeed she did. Cornfield was 1 for 2 from the free throw line her previous trip. Trying to make it 2 for 2 here. Velasco and Erica Porter back into the game for Bowling Green for Ellis and Cecil. That one in and out for Cornfield.
Yeah, and again, free throws just so important.
Cornfield's second attempt is good. So 1 for 2 trip again for Cornfield. The lead's cut down to just 12, 49-37. So the Bulls only get 1 point out of that possession.
It'd be a single-digit game had they hit all 6 of their free throws.
Velasco, Donahue, shot clock is off, down to 7 seconds. Donahue back to her pass to Fleming. Heavily contacted from Hines there. Heavily contacted from Lewis Williams. Fleming lost it initially, and it goes out of bounds. And that's how this first quarter will third quarter, I should say, come to a close. Bowling Green, though, a 12-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, trying to close with the Bulls and get this monkey off their back and go into the semifinals of the MAC tournament. 49-37 is your score. One final quarter coming up here in the 2025 MAC tournament quarterfinals round here at Racket Arena. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU women's basketball taking on the Bulls right here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This year's MAC Men's Basketball Tournament Championship game will be aired on WBGU 88.1 FM on Saturday, March 15th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz and Artie Abrego starting at 7:15 for pregame and 7:30 p.m. for tip-off at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, ready for the final quarter between Bowling Green and Buffalo. The Falcons lead 49-37. An electric third quarter scoring for the Orange and Brown has prevailed them to this 12-point lead as they're looking to close out the Bulls and advance to the semifinals of the MAC tournament. Lucas Clymer alongside Kaden with you here for these final 10 minutes and it should be a good one.
Yeah, it really should be, and the Falcons only trending up right now. 10 points in the first, 16 in the second, then 23 in the third. The Bulls 13 in the first, 9 in the second, then 15 in the third. They are 4-5 this season when trailing heading into the fourth quarter.
Buffalo will get the ball to start. Here's Hines. Here's Lopez. Was an open underneath the basket is Ariana Sewell. Sewell gets it up and in. They cut the lead down to 10, 49-39. And interesting enough, Caden, no Watson out on the court for Bowling Green as Fleming just takes a spill and hits the floor.
Yeah, and I think the reasoning for that is that Becky Burke thinks she's kind of holding him down right now. And she's been taking certain shots that coach doesn't agree with, and that's why she's on the bench.
Velasco will throw this one all the way back to Kohler by the MAC logo. Donahue wide open top of the key. Donahue to Fleming, right wing. Fleming again to Donahue. Here's Porter. Porter. Spin move here on Sewell. Porter up and in. Nice move and footwork from Erica Porter. 51-39, Bowling Green. As Lewis Williams drives just like that on the other side, make it 51-41. So back down to 10-point lead.
What a move by Erica Porter, though, underneath. That was just fantastic.
Here's Donahue. He's off to Kohler. Guarded by Lewis Williams. Kohler, the Donahue left wing. Nice pass again inside to Porter. And she's fouled. A lot of contact from Hines. Shot didn't go, but Porter would go to the free throw line.
Yeah, had she not been fouled there, she would have had an easy lay-in.
7-10 shooting for Porter. 5 rebounds to go along with her 15 points for the number one field goal percentage in the MAC.
And in the program's history, Bowling Green.
So here comes Porter's first attempt from the line. It is up and good. It's now 52-41, Bowling Green.
Last time Porter shot 10 or more shots was against Western Michigan on January 22nd. Time before that was against Buffalo. First time.
Second one's up and no good, so the lead is still up to 11 for Bowling Green. Here's Hines. Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams spin moves, trying to put the shot up, but she's fouled.
Yeah, it's been a physical game, and obviously legs getting a little tired in the late going, so we're going to see more than likely more fouls as we get closer to the end.
Bowling Green shot 56.3% from the floor in that third quarter, 9 for 16 shooting, and Buffalo just really didn't have an answer. So Lewis Williams will go to the charity stripe. First one's up and good.
Yeah, and she's now scored double-digit points in 18 of the 22 games she's played this season.
Second one from Lewis Williams up and good as well, so the lead cut down to single digits for Bowling Green, 52-43. There's Velasco. Puts on the move on Lopez. Donahue, Fleming, found her open for a three. Fleming, in and out. Oh, how sweet would that have been for Bowling Green. She could have connected there. Girl's last touch off a ball. Bowling Green will take over.
Yeah, she kind of looked over at Donahue and Kohler. It's like, had to make that one.
Fleming. Porter again, up and in. Easy money there from Erica Porter. She has been feasting inside the paint against these Buffalo Bulls. Watson. Cornfield. Cornfield pulls up mid-range, short, into the hands of Donahue. Under 8 minutes to play, 54-43, Bowling Green.
You mentioned how Porter's just doing so well underneath. It's because her teammates are doing such a great job at passing her the basketball as well and setting her up so well. totaling 15 assists.
Kohler and Cornfield there kind of just pushes down Fleming from off the ball. And Cornfield, a good task with the foul. And Bowling Green looking to be on their way to pulling up an upset here in Cleveland.
I mean, and I think that the Falcons very well, if they played Miami later in the season, could have beaten them and gotten into the top 5 of the conference. So, I mean, yes, technically, quote-unquote upset, but I feel like the Falcons playing a lot better than their 6th seed.
Indeed as well. Velasco inbound pass to Fleming, wide open and no good, and held in from Lewis Williams. Here's Lewis Williams again. Lewis Williams kicks it outside. 3-ball on the way here for Lopez. That one just a little bit short, and rebounded it from Porter. Only 2 threes have been made all game for the Bulls.
Yeah, and 5 attempts as well.
Kohler feeds it to Porter. Here's Kohler. Out to Donahue. Donahue trying to feed Porter, and off balance there. Did well to put the shot there, but just too strong. Here's Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams drives to the basket, puts it up, and good. Lead cut down to 9 again.
Yeah, that was a nice step-back move to create space.
And Watson there picked off initially, but couldn't hold that one in play. Will go out of bounds as Ellis has been summoned from Shamil and for Porter.
Giving Porter a much-deserved breather.
Porter leads the Falcons in scoring with 18 points and 6 rebounds. There's Kohler looking at the Fleming. Fleming back to Velasco. Here's Kohler. Working on Lewis Williams. Kohler drives baseline, lost her balance there initially. That one goes in and out into the hands of Watson. And they're going to get Ellis for a foul.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a slippery spot or something on the floor. They just wiped it off, but like you said, Kohler's foot just kind of slipped.
Yeah, that could have been really bad. That looked awkward. 6:25 left to play here. 9-point lead for the Falcons, 54-45 over the Bulls. Here's Cornfield. To Watson. She'll try a 3. Chella Watson. Nothing but net. Big 3 there from Watson. Lead cut down to 6.
If I was Coach Shamil, I'd use a timeout right now. They haven't scored in 2 minutes. I think they need a break to collect themselves.
Here's Donahue. Bounce pass to Velasco. Working on Lopez. Velasco. Gets a screen separated to Ellis. Up and in. Wide open from the basket. To break the scoring drought. 56-48 lead back up to 8 for Bowling Green. Cornfield. Watson. Guarded by Fleming. Watson will try another 3. Nothing but net again. Oh my goodness. The release was almost too easy there from Watson. It cuts the lead down to 5 and a timeout taken from Bowling Green, 56-51. And just like that, a couple big 3s there from Watson, and it's a ball game.
Yeah, well, a smart timeout by Coach Shamil at the right time. And yeah, just look at Watson, just the great shots there from her.
This timeout taken by Bowling Green. This is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, located 145 South in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee, craft beer, starting breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll take a quick pause for station identification, and we'll come back with you for the final 5 minutes and 39 seconds here in the fourth quarter.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
In Cleveland, Ohio. Just a 5-point lead now. Watson up to 20 points at the game high after hitting 2 big 3s. And I think it's safe to say it's been a relatively low-scoring game. There's still 5 minutes and 39 seconds left of basketball to be played. But Bowling Green had a very efficient shooting third quarter, and the Bulls on a little bit of a run here in the last couple minutes or so, trying to make this one a cinematic finish.
Yeah, and we'll see what adjustments, again, are made out of the timeout. I would expect Coach Shamil to have something good drawn up because you want to make a shot here to keep up pace with Buffalo right now because they're really feeling it. And I think another reason why Coach Shamil used this timeout is to kind of just slow down the Bulls because, you know, in the heat of the moment and you have all this momentum going, it's good for you, obviously. And when you use a timeout to kind of slow that down and you have to sit and think for a second, it can work out for the team that used that timeout.
Indeed, as well. We'll say, now that we're in Rocket Arena, I think the Cavaliers are having a pretty good season.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. First in the East. Played Tuesday night, last night, right before start this tournament. They're also going to play Sunday at home as well. So, very busy for the staff here at Rocket Arena. Got games from Tuesday to Sunday with the Cavs and the MAC tournament.
I believe this is the 25th year that Cleveland is hosting.
Yeah, 25-year anniversary here. And as you mentioned, it's been all chalk so far today for the women. Bowling Green looking to pull up the upset here and get the first MAC tournament win in the Shamil era.
Yeah, and it also would give the Falcons a 29-26 series advantage. Which is an interesting note that I came across during the prep for this is, Lucas, the Falcons have the most wins in MAC tournament play out of every single team at 48-29.
They do. The program is known for success in women's basketball and Bowling Green. Falcons will inbound this one. And Buffalo has been going a little bit of a full court press in the past couple of minutes trying to force a Bowling Green turnover. And Kohler will inbound to Velasco. This looks to be no different. Watson gets it to Velasco. Porter gets out to Donahue. Nice there for Bowling Green to build out of the possession. Donahue lost it initially, but she's fouled from Lewis Williams.
Yeah, Buffalo bringing on a 2-2-1 press. And how you beat the press? Make good passes.
Velasco inbounds to Porter. Porter out to Lopez. Screen set from Porter. Lopez still not going away on Velasco. Trying to get to Fleming, guarded by Watson. Fleming drives. Fleming, tough shot, no good. Rebounded from Davis. Stolen away there from Fleming. And be last off of Lewis Williams. Bowling Green take over. What a hustle play from Fleming to win that ball back.
Yeah, I don't know how she got back into that play after missing the shot.
Now the officials are going to discuss this over to make sure we got the call right, so we could be going to the monitor here. Was pretty close. But Fleming immediately after that miss went to get that one back, and does look like they're going to go to the monitor here for an official review.
Yeah, Coach Shamil is very upset about something.
And they are going to look at this down below. We'll see if we can get a replay here at Rocket Arena. We have a little bit of a screen right in front of us. Not that big. And they will not show it.
30 seconds.
And it will be Bowling Green ball. So the initial call on the floor is correct.
I bet you they were discussing the shot clock because it's been having issues all day.
Indeed it was. So now 30 seconds to shoot for Bowling Green Velasco. Here's a Fleming. Fleming. And looks like they're going to get Buffalo again. And it's going to be on Alexis Davis, so it'll be her third personal foul. So Erica Porter will go to the free throw line. The big foul on Buffalo.
Porter kind of looked over at the officials like, what? So for a second I was like, wait, that was a Buffalo foul, right?
First one from Porter, up and good. Lead up to 6 for Bowling Green. 57-51 with 5:07 left to play. Still a lot of time in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Porter's second one is up and rolls in and out. She was perfect until that one. Good shooting night for Porter, 19 points, 8 for 12 shooting.
Importantly, that keeps it a 2-possession game.
Here's Cornfield. Cornfield got some separation out to Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams spin moves around, puts up a highly contested shot, rolls in, no good. Donnie and Lewis Williams collide there. Cornfield kicks it out to Watson. A lot of physical play here down low. Watson drives! Got to go and one. Are you kidding me?
My goodness.
Well, I will say it was a bang-bang play with Lewis Williams and Donahue underneath the basket.
Yeah.
I was shocked nothing was called on either side, and Watson there takes the contact and got to go. I don't know how that shot went in.
I don't either. And I mean, the number one rule in basketball is do not foul a jump shooter, and that's what the Falcons just did.
So Watson now has a chance to make it a three-point play in a one-possession game, and she does, now 57-55, there on the scoreboard. It's just a 2-point lead for Bowling Green, and buckle up, folks. Final 4:35. And actually, now I think we have a little bit of issue with the score here. As our stats say 57-54, and now they did correct. It's now 57-54, so just a three-point lead.
It's like, wait a second, it was just 6.
But we are going to have a fast and furious finish here. Been the closest game so far of this first opening day in the MAC tournament. Porter has it knocked away from behind on Davis, and it's stolen away from Cornfield. Cornfield on the fast break with Watson. Cornfield drives up and in, fouled by Velasco, and she takes a tumble underneath the basket. And it's going both Buffalo's way as all the momentum is swinging in favor of the Bulls.
There's the keeping your foot on the gas pedal no matter what for Buffalo. And we said it in the pregame how important it would just be, and Buffalo's used to it. So that's why they've been able to come back.
It's commentator's curse as the first one is up and in from Cornfield, but this is eerily similar to the only matchup in the regular season where Bowling Green were the better team for the three quarters, and in the fourth quarter, Buffalo pulled away from Bowling Green at the Stroh Center, and it went down to the last shot.
Yeah, it was a game of definitely two halves, and especially, like you said, just the third and fourth quarter were just huge differences.
Second one is up and good for Lewis Williams. It's from Cornfield, rather. Just a 1-point lead for Bowling Green, 57-56 Bowling Green.
The Falcons were outscored 25-10 in the fourth quarter in the first meeting.
And right now, they're being outscored 19-8 here in the fourth. Kohler to Porter. 3:50 left to play, 57-56 Bowling Green. Kohler to Velasco. Velasco, she'll try a three. Bowling Green needs it, and just in and out there. That would have been a huge three and trying to change the momentum. Instead, here comes Buffalo. Watson, Lewis Williams. Spin move here. Lewis Williams trying to put that up, and no good. And another foul called, and it's going to be on Velasco again.
That's her fourth personal foul,
Oh, boy.
Lucas.
Oh, man. I mean, if you there, I think the last player you want fouling out if you're Bowling Green is Amy Velasco.
I believe she's only fouled out one time in her career, and that was at the beginning of her junior year, if I remember correctly.
So the first one, though, from Lewis Williams is up and no good. Second one is up and good as well. We are tied at 57 apiece. The Bulls have stormed all the way back as Lewis Williams 1 for 2, 57, 3:30 left. And that pass is picked off from Cornfield. And Lewis Williams comes away with it.
Falcons are reeling right now.
Watson drives. I think Porter got a touch there into the hands of Fleming.
Very timely defensive play.
3 minutes left. Timeout taken from the Falcons, and a much-needed one as the Bulls have gone on this 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes to tie the game at 57 apiece. We have 3 minutes to decide who's going to go to the semifinal round. This is just going to be a 30-second timeout, as always, this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You find the latest menu visiting juniperbrew.com. And Caden, basketball is a momentum game, and I think that is on display here. The Bulls down by 13 at one point, and have come all the way back to tie the game at 57 apiece.
Yeah, and the Falcons haven't scored in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And Lucas, my question to you is, do you think this possession out of the Falcons timeout is going to be possibly the biggest possession of the Falcons season?
I think it is because of just Buffalo the momentum they've had in this fourth quarter, if you look at it's tied game, if Buffalo pulls away here, it's going to be hard for Bowling Green to come back. And I think it goes the same for either side too. As we're getting into crunch time here, 3:03 of the play here in the fourth. Kohler.
It's one thing to come back, and it's a whole other thing to come back and then take the lead.
It is indeed. We'll say the Bowling Green faithful traveled well here at Rocket Arena in Cleveland to give the Falcons their support here. Here's Kohler to the left wing, guarded by Lopez. Lopez, we get called for the foul.
And that means Paige Kohler's going to go to the charity stripe.
So that's going to be Lopez's second personal foul. And Kohler will go to the free throw line. Kohler hit those two huge threes in the third quarter that got Bowling Green on that run, that had their largest lead of the night.
Yeah, and based on how the last few minutes have gone, I can tell you right now, the free throws are going to win or lose you the game.
First one's up and good, and Buffalo 9 for 13 shooting from the charity stripe. Bowling Green now 6 for 8. This could be 7 for 9 if she makes it. And she does. 7-9 for Bowling Green. 2-point lead for Bowling Green. 59-57 BG.
And Kohler's gotten much better at the charity stripe as the season has progressed.
Watson. Heavily guarded there from Fleming. Watson spin moves. Davis. Lewis Williams gets some separation. Lewis Williams drives. Double team. Up no good. Rebound there from Davis. Puts it up and in. Tied at 59 apiece. Big, strong finish there from Davis, sandwiched in between Porter and Donahue.
And good job on them not to foul as well.
So Kohler will come back with it. Feeds it to Donahue. And this is what playoff basketball is all about. Tournament basketball. Jump ball will be favored. It's going to be Bowling Green ball. I think the Falcons won a foul there on Donahue.
There was a lot of contact.
Hey, it's been if this game's been anything, it's been a physical game. I think the officials have been pretty consistent as keeping it tight. But yes, there was a lot of contact in that one. Letting these young women play on the floor. Fleming to Velasco, the right wing. Donahue wide open top of the key. We'll give it to Kohler. Guarded by Cornfield. Kohler, tough shot and in. Paige Kohler. What a big basket there from the sophomore.
As soon as she got to the far wing, she turned on the Jets.
Watson, mid-range jumper, just like that. You blink, and the Bulls tie it again, 61 apiece. So back and forth we go. Minute 40 left to play here. Could we have overtime? Didn't have overtime in the first 3 quarterfinal matchups here in Cleveland. Could be one here. Donahue heavily guarded here from Lewis Williams. And that one's stolen away by Lewis Williams. And the Bulls come away on the fast break. Buffalo takes the lead, 63-61, down to a minute 17.
And there it is, the biggest shot of the game so far.
Timeout taken from the Falcons and a smart timeout from Shamil. The Bulls now with the lead down to a minute 13. 30-second timeout. As always, this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company.
You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com.
How'd you know I was going to say that?
I've heard that a few times.
A few times, indeed.
What a game this has been, to say the least. Falcons still trying to snap that 5-game losing streak against the Bulls. And an interesting note with head coach Becky Burke is, if you look at the floor right now, she's not in the huddle with the team. She's huddled with her coaches.
She's huddled with her top assistant on the other side.
And she's been doing that all game long.
And she has, can't quite see who that other assistant is for the Bulls. She has one of her assistants talking to the team on the floor.
And another interesting thing with her is this is her 9th season coaching just in general as a head coach. 3rd season with the Bulls. This is the first team she's at least coached 3 years with. Everyone else is too.
Indeed, it has. And they were so close last year to winning the MAC tournament. They lost to Kent State. They were so close to getting to NCAA bid, and that's been on their mind coming to this game, trying to right the wrongs, get some revenge. and get back into the final game, but they have to go through your Bowling Green Falcons to get there. But at the same time, Falcons, they want revenge. They want to get revenge on what Buffalo did to them, knocking them out last year, and along with what they did earlier in the season.
Emotions are running high.
This has been the best game so far of the opening day of the MAC tournament. 63-61 Buffalo. A minute 10 left to play here. Here's Kohler. Porter. Kohler top of the key. Donahue. Velasco. Thought about pulling up there. Won't do so. Under a minute left to play here in Cleveland. Velasco. Heavily guard from Lopez. Screen set from Porter. Velasco gets to her left. Trying to find Porter. It was knocked away. Loose ball on the floor. And I believe they're going to get a foul on Buffalo. Bowling Green escapes there. It's going to be on Lewis Williams. So Velasco's going to go to the charity stripe. And huge free throws. Man, oh man, did Bowling Green survive there. But huge free throws coming up for the best free throw shooter in the MAC.
Yeah, and that's, huge free throws to say the least. I mean, the Falcons got bailed out there by the foul. Their shot clock was at 1 second. And there was no way they would have gotten a shot off.
That's a good eye there, partner. Just if Buffalo just held on there for 1 second, would have been a shot clock violation for Bowling Green. But instead, you give the Centerville, Ohio native, who's been the best at the charity stripe in the conference this season, 2 chances to tie the game. First one is up and good. 63-62.
Possibly the biggest free throws of her BG career.
Velasco again to tie the game. Up and in. We are tied at 63 apiece. And she'll check out here for Emily Cecil. So defensive sub here for Bowling Green. McGuff as well is going to check in for Fleming. So Buffalo will inbound. Every possession matters now. 48 seconds. Here's Watson for Buffalo. Timeout taken for Becky Burke and her Bulls. And I believe this is just going to be a 30-second timeout. Buffalo has 2 timeouts remaining this game. And it will just be a 30-second timeout. This timeout is, as always, sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You see the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. They've been a great partnership all season long for BGSU Women's Basketball, helping us sponsor our broadcast, helping us with our travel as well this season, along with our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game as well.
Bowling Green right now has 1 timeout remaining. We'll see if they exhaust that after this Buffalo possession. Well, they say defense wins championships for a reason, Lucas.
They do indeed. And interesting tweak here is Fleming and Velasco, your 2 most experienced players in that orange and brown uniform, come out for Cecil and McGuff here for this possession. Lopez will inbound. Here's Cornfield, and I think you know who they're going to put the ball in their hands here on this shot. Cornfield, bounce pass to Watson. Watson working on McGuff. Watson drives, spin moves out to Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams spin moves, puts it up, and rolls in and out. Timeout taken from Bowling Green. What a stop from the orange and brown with 31 seconds left to be exact left on the clock. So Bowling Green will get the ball back. Buffalo might not get another chance again, but we'll see how this plays out. It's quickly timeout taken from Fred Shamil.
There's the height differential between Kieran McGuff, 6 foot tall, and Lexi Fleming, 5'5". Either her or Velasco would have been on Lewis Williams driving there, and Lewis Williams probably would have made it because she just has that height. But because McGuff was in there, she was able to contest the shot and make it so that the Falcons have the ball in a tie game.
1 second shot separates, 2 separate the shot clock and game clock. It should be 1, but it says 29. So Buffalo does have a chance unless something else happens where Bowling Green can get the ball back after a loose ball to run up the clock. But this is huge here for Bowling Green. Velasco. Inbound to Donahue. Back to Velasco. Guarded by Lopez. Velasco. Bounce pass to Porter. Wide open inside Donahue. Shot won't go up. It's taken away from Cornfield. It's going to be Buffalo ball.
And a timeout's going to be used on top of that.
The timeout was taken from UB. I think Bowling Green was asking for a travel, but Donahue had that stripped away from underneath the basket. We have 19.6 seconds left, and Buffalo can take this all the way down if they want to.
My goodness. This game really has had it all.
30-second timeout for Bowling Green. So unless Bowling Green can get a stop, Bowling Green has no timeouts left. So unless they can get a stop and pull up a miracle shot, we could have overtime.
And it is also worth noting that Buffalo will be inbounding us from the 3/4 of a court line.
Remind you, too, post-game we'll be joined by BGSU assistant coach Maggie Lucas to give us her thoughts.
I think it's very important that Buffalo holds for the last shot here because they're tied, and say you make something, you don't want to give Bowling Green any time. And if you miss, then again, you don't get Bowling Green any time.
If you're Buffalo here, if you don't take this all the way down to near the final seconds, I don't really know what you're doing. They have to inbound this one. If you go full court as well, Bowling Green going to go full court press as well. Fleming and Velasco are not out on the floor for Bowling Green. It's McGuff and Cecil as well, along with Donahue, Kohler, Porter. Here we go. Watson, 15 seconds left. Guarded by McGuff. Watson drives to the basket, puts it up, and in. It rolls through. Watson gets it. There's no timeout. Kohler, 9 seconds left. 8. Kohler, guarded by Lopez. Kohler has it knocked away. It'll be BG ball. That can get Velasco and Fleming back in it. So Bowling Green, though, has a chance to win the game here at the buzzer or send it to overtime. 65-63 Buffalo, 3.4 seconds left.
Well, Watson saw her lane and she took it. We'll see if it costs them.
So they're going to go to the monitor here. Are they reviewing to see if this was last off on Bowling Green?
Yes, they are.
Oh, boy. Because there's no timeout left for BG. Oh, man.
And we get no input on it because there's no monitors in our direct area that gives us the replay.
No, we are very much high up at the top, where the Cleveland Cavaliers radio announcers are.
Yes. This one, a huge call, obviously, and everyone just anxiously awaiting for the officials to make the announcement.
We could be on the doorstep of something epic here for Bowling Green. Could we even have overtime? Do you go for a 3 here or do you go for a 2 and send it overtime?
I go for whichever shot gives you a higher percentage to make it.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but we'll roll with it. So Velasco inbound this one with 3.6 seconds left here. So they're looking at the clock as well. So they added 0.2 seconds left here. Velasco will go to Porter. It's tipped away into the hands of Buffalo. And she's fouled. With 1.1 seconds left, Porter can't hold on to it. Buffalo does.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened during that timeout. Coach Burke and the staff told the players to be ready for an inbound to go underneath the Porter to set them up well, like the Falcons have done all season long, and they were ready for it, and they pretty much clinched the game, barring a miracle.
And what has worked for them all night is finding Erica Porter in the posts. Here's Lewis Williams from the charity stripe. First one rolls in and out. Oh, boy.
Well, that means the Falcons are going to have a chance after the second free throw, regardless of if it goes in or not.
If she makes it, they can heave a half-court shot and tie the game and send it to overtime. Lewis Williams, in and out. Fleming, it won't go. The Buffalo Bulls for the second straight year. Well, hold on here.
I think they started the clock before a Falcon touched it.
Indeed, they are. So,
because that 1 second came off a lot faster than it should have. And, I mean, with Lewis Williams knowing there's 1.1 seconds of clock, it had to have gone through your mind, like, if I miss this, will it give Bowling Green a lower percentage to make a shot than if I make it and allow them to inbound it and set their offense.
Indeed. And again, we're not down there where the officials are, so we don't exactly know what they're quite reviewing, but
we can assume at least.
Amy Velasco, by the way, has fouled out. And I think we did not mention that on that foul. So, in her Bowling Green career, in her last MAC tournament game, what could be, she'll foul out. Now, it could not be the end of the season as well. We also postseason play for both programs as well. A lot of MAC teams get bids into the WNIT, BIT as well if they don't get that bid, because MAC has historically been just a one-bid tournament in an NCAA tournament.
Yep. And this also has to be one of the hardest stoppages just of the year if you're the Falcons right now. Just anxiously awaiting to hope to have some time on the clock so that you at least have a chance, even if it's a very small one.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to give Fred Schemel credit for what they've done this season and the record they've had. They've improved. And the wins they got against Toledo and Kent State, even the Western Michigan, the right the wrongs of that first loss. There's just been something about these Buffalo Bulls that's given Bowling Green trouble.
Yep.
And give them credit, Bowling Green had a 13-point lead at one point. But Becky Burke and her Bulls are resilient, if that's one word to describe them.
This would be her 56th win as the head coach of Buffalo, 169th overall win.
As it stands right now, Bulls have outscored Bowling Green 28-14 in this fourth quarter. Bowling Green won every single quarter besides that. They even held Buffalo to just 9 points in the second. And this is eerily similar to what happened last game, is you put together 3 good quarters, but in the second half, and especially the fourth, if it's still a game, if it's still tight, this Bulls team is down but never out. And you're seeing what's happened here. And this is a Bulls team that went to the final last year and are trying to get back. And they had the play they wanted to, Kane, just going back to the last offensive play. They went for the 2. They went for the tie in overtime, and that's what you do. You go to Erica Poor. It's worked so well this game in the post, but Becky Burke and her Bulls, they're ready for it.
Yes, and I mean, really, that's just been the slogan all game for Buffalo. They've been ready for it.
That's it. They reviewed it, and they've called it. And that's how the MAC tournament run for Bowling Green comes to an end. They've been eliminated for the second straight year against these Buffalo Bulls. 65-63 is your score. Bowling Green will go home packing. The Bulls will move on to the semifinals to face the Toledo Rockets on Friday. Wow.
What's also interesting is they lost back-to-back MAC tournament games in back-to-back years to Buffalo in 2016 and 2017. One in 2021, but then in 24, now 25, lost back-to-back ones. Now 1-4 against Buffalo in MAC tournament play.
What a fun finish here in this one, but your Bowling Green women's basketball team come up just short again against the Buffalo Bulls here in the quarterfinals rounds. They fall 65-63. Remind you, when we come back, we'll be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas. Kate and I will wrap things up as well. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball, taking on the Bulls here in the MAC tournament here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games.
Northwest Ohio's community radio station is currently looking for music submissions from local and regional artists. As a local non-commercial radio station, WBGU celebrates local musicians and offers opportunities for independent artists to get their music out to the local community on 88.1 FM and worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Submit your materials now by snail mail or Facebook. Get your music on local radio with WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Catch all of the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
To get your music played on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, submit your materials via snail mail or through Facebook. Additional opportunities include on-air interviews, live performances, and more. Promote your band and your music on Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Submit your materials now and start engaging with a larger audience. Return to Radio Freedom with local music on 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green.
Brain Grub, exploring the psychology and science of behavior to improve your mental health and life balance. Listen weekly on Wednesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. for topics about health, psychology, and human behaviors. Join psychologist Dr. Christine Fair and co-host Kaylee Bowen as they inspire, encourage, and offer usable approaches to impact your life in a positive way.
Be a part of Black Swamp Players, BG's award-winning community theater group. BSP produces a 5-show season, adds on the winning play from our Playwriters competition, hosts improv and special events, and is totally volunteer-run. You can be part of this inclusive arts community in many ways, on the stage, in the director chair, as an usher, watching from the audience. Come see our Black Box Theater and find out how you can be involved. More at blackswampplayers.org.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Back here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Buffalo 65-63 is your final score. Bowling Green falls by 2 against the Bulls. Just in a little bit, we'll be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas right here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Don't go anywhere. We'll be joined by the assistant coach momentarily.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here at our post-game show, we're now joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas after a tough loss 65-63 to the Buffalo Bulls. Coach, we always appreciate your time post-game. Just your opening thoughts on the match.
Really tough one. We battled. I thought we played really well, for 3 quarters, and it slipped away from us in the fourth. But we never stopped battling, so always proud of our kids.
Yeah.
How does this type of experience help the underclassmen and the players that will be playing on the team next year?
I mean, you never want to feel this way. That's what losing does. It hopefully makes you never want to feel this way again.
Yeah. Coach, talk us a little bit about how the game played out. You guys had a really good first, second, third quarter, took it to Buffalo. Fourth quarter was competitive back and forth, but the game was always close. And what do you feel like was the difference in the game in that last quarter?
Just who was on the attack. I think they were in attack mode, and we played not to lose there at the end instead of to finish it off strong.
And then, Coach, finally, obviously you never want to feel this way. As you mentioned, losing is really tough, especially in elimination game in the MAC tournament. But how do you use this as motivation for what could become the rest of the season and postseason play, but also and next season and the future seasons as well?
Yeah, you learn from losses, and you keep getting better, you keep growing, and like I said, you don't want to feel this way again.
Oh, Coach, we are so appreciative for your time. Thank you so much. Always appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back, Kate and I will wrap up things on WBGU 88.1 FM. Once again, Bowling Green Falls here 65-63, your final score.
I feel so good. Well, I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel like ball and jack.
The goal of the Blues, and especially of the Blues Breakfast, is to make you feel good. So tune in every Saturday from 10 to 2, and you'll feel so good, you'll feel like balling the jack too.
I got dead aim. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel like ball and jack.
For the fourth consecutive year, Falcon Media Sports Network will have coverage of the entire MAC men's and women's basketball tournament at Rockin' Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. The women's tournament will start on Wednesday, March 12th, with the men's beginning on Thursday, March 13th. Both championship games will be held on Saturday, March 15th. Broadcasts of all BGSU women's basketball games and both championship contests will air on WBGU 88.1 FM. All other games will air on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. To keep up with all the coverage by Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz, Lucas Kleinmeyer, Artie Abrego, Caden Knapp, Henry Costco, Jack Rintema, and Dane Leiniger, check out bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter X, and head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel. Isaac.
Back here one final time here at Rocket Arena here in Cleveland, Ohio. Final score, Bowling Green is out of the MAC tournament, 65-63. They fall to the Buffalo Bulls after an incredible fourth quarter performance by Becky Burke's Bulls. Lucas Clymer alongside Caden. I'm with you one final time to wrap things up. And Caden, we just heard Coach Lucas talk a little about there, and she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's very emotional. And you could tell, you could just feel it in her voice, how disappointed they are for this loss with how well they played for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, I think that the thing that made it hurt as bad as it does is just the fact that they thought they had it too. And as you said, they just played so well through 3 quarters, and that fourth quarter just really killed them, and that's why Buffalo was able to come back. And really, Chella Watson coming into the picture late in the game was huge for them. I mean, her finishing with 27 points after 5 in the first half was very, very pivotal.
Indeed, and we talked a lot about Watson. She wasn't very efficient for her standards, but she finished the game shooting 50%, 11 for 22, 27 points for her as well. That was a game high. The Bulls shot just below 50%, 49.1%, 26 for 53 shooting. And again, I mean, you look at Kirsten Lewis-Williams as well. She had a double-double on the night. We didn't even mention that, too. 15 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals as well. She had a monstrous all-around game for Buffalo, and it feels unfair, Caden, but you really, when you chop this down, it's you play really good 3 quarters, but when it matters most at the end of the game, when it's a close game, the star players for Buffalo stepped up and they took over.
Yeah, and I think a huge reason why they were able to do that is, I mean, we said this during the game, but right from the beginning, you could tell that they kind of knew what BG was doing as Bowling Green was doing it, or before they were doing it, and it allowed them to be prepared for it. And like we saw at the last offensive possession for the Falcons, true offensive possession, with Porter getting locked down underneath and not even being able to get a shot off, they just knew what was happening, and it was huge for them.
It was indeed. For Bowling Green, Erica Porter led the way scoring, 19 points, 6 rebounds. Lexi Fleming had 16 points as well, 5 rebounds as well. Paige Kohler, 14 points along with 6 assists. Velasco, who did foul out at the very end of the game, had 10 points and 4 assists as well. And outside of that, only Donahue just had 2 points. Ellis had 2 points. No points for McGuff in her 5 minutes, and no points for Cecil in her 3. So those 4 for Bowling Green outside of Donahue did all the scoring, majority of the scoring, and then they get really much production from their bench. And as we mentioned, the fourth quarter kind of just falling apart, only taking 11 shots and going 4 for 11 in that fourth quarter. If that's only good for 36.4% for Bowling Green. And it feels unfair, but in all, that was the difference in the game, difference in the outcome of the game. You only lose by 2, 65-63. It's the difference of just a basket. And, you know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. This is the second straight year they lost to these same Bulls team, same exact round. I think Shamil and his squad are obviously disappointed and frustrated with how well they played for the majority of the game. And I think also emotionally too, Caden, is emotionally you don't know if you're going to have another game left for those seniors in Fleming and Velasco and Porter.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the silver lining to it is, as there's Fleming giving a hug to Erica Porter on the court, but the silver lining is, you know, Taya Ellis, Kieran McGuff, Emily Cecil, Janaea Donahue, and Paige Kohler get true MAC play experience. They get more of that, and it'll help them into next season. Of course, we don't know if Fleming will be back next year or not yet.
No, you have eligibility, so yes.
Yes. But like I said, it's just this is a close game. Last year's game was just dominated by Buffalo from wire to wire for the most part, and this game was very close. So that builds you. Losses build character.
They do indeed, and obviously this could not be the end of the season. They could very well accept a bid in the WNIT, WBIT, and these postseason tournament plays as well. They did last year as well. So this most likely isn't the last game of the season, but it is disappointing knowing that you bow out again the second string in the first round of the MAC tournament to the same exact opponent as well, and closer this time than it was last year as well, and just both tight games. But man, oh man, I mean, sports can be cruel. Sports can be cruel, and especially in elimination play, where you and I have been traveling all season long with this team, and we've seen the work they do in practice and the shoot-arounds and the feature stories we've done as well. So we see all the emotions they put into this, and it's kind of hard seeing the season end as well towards the end. But it was a very good game from a neutral standpoint. You look at the stats as well. The rebounding was very similar, 35-32 to Bowling Green. You look at the points in the paint as well. Buffalo came back 32-28. So if you're a neutral viewer, you got your money's worth in this game. I mean, a very back-and-forth game. Came down to the final second, literally the final second of the game before the buzzer sounded. It was just a great game, and I'm sure you share the same thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's quality basketball. It was by far the funnest game of the day. And, I mean, it really lived up to the hype because, I mean, it got scheduled for the 6:30 evening window so that it could have the most people in attendance and so that it could have the most build-up.
Yep, indeed. And don't know what lies ahead now for the women's program this season. It could be it, but we'll stay tuned to see if they have at least one more final game to play in tournament play. But that's going to do it for Caden Knapp and I here, and hopefully this isn't the last time you and I are on the broadcast together for women's basketball this season. But I will say, if it is, it's been an absolute pleasure being alongside you this year. You've killed it, my friend. Obviously, your first season with Falcon Media Sports Network. And we'll also have full coverage. This is the last game you and I are calling together. We'll have the MAC Women's Championship at least on Saturday as well. Falcon Media Sports Network will cover all 14 broadcasts as well for the MAC tournament. So day one is complete for us. Day two tomorrow for the men. We'll start on Thursday starting at 11 a.m. for Bowling Green men's team, trying to pull out what would be the upset of the entire tournament, taking that number one seed, Akron Zips. So been a lot of fun, my friend. Any other final words?
Just it's been a fun season, and I'm glad I've been able to sit next to you for most of it, calling games.
Indeed, as well. So that'll do it for us here in Cleveland, Ohio at Rocket Arena for one final time here. Bowling Green falls to Buffalo in the quarterfinals round 65-63. Have a good night, everyone.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.